Hello and welcome to Kedrick Builds. Today we're going to be starting off a new Let's Play series on surviving Mars. This game's been out for a while and I got it right after it came out, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. And with the Below and Beyond expansion coming out today, which adds asteroid exploration as well as the ability to explore the subterranean features of Mars, I thought now would be a great time to give this game a shot, and it's a perfect fit for our channel. I've already played through the tutorial missions here just to reacquaint myself with the game, and so we're going to be jumping into a new game here and getting started right away. First off, we need to pick a mission sponsor. There are a lot of choices, and I think they're pretty much ordered here from easy to hard. For my playstyle, I think Europe's going to be a good choice. I tend to like to get through a lot of the research in the game, unlock all the options, and Europe comes with both a bonus to research as well as 5 extra starting technologies, and we're going to gain some money every time we do some research. So we're going to go ahead and grab that as our mission sponsor, and then we're going to jump into Commander Profile. There's a lot of different options in here, and I've kind of been going back and forth from a few of them. This Futurist seems like it could be a fairly good choice for us in that breakthrough techs are researched 30% faster, and we get a bonus tech, which is autonomous sensors, which would make it so that we don't need to do power or maintenance on our sensor towers. This is going to allow us to explore the surface of Mars a lot faster, uncovering those anomalies and seeing what mysteries we can find. So we're going to grab that as it fits our playstyle very well. And then for colony logo, I mean, we can't not pick the Serenity logo. So we're going to do that from a mystery perspective. I haven't actually played through any of these yet, and so I'm kind of leaning towards just picking one in the middle here. Artificial intelligence sounds cool. I mean, I can't pass up a 2001 reference with HAL 9000, so we're going to go ahead and grab that one. Why not? We're going to keep the rival colonies the same here, as well as the game rules unedited, and kind of see how this goes. So it's not the most difficult that we could set things up, but we've got a fairly difficult challenge here up at 280%. So we're gonna change the colony name here as our final act to Kedrick Builds Mars. Seems appropriate. So with all the settings for the game out of the way, we have to pick our starting rocket payload. So this is one of those super critical things to how we're going to start the game. And the first thing we're going to do is go in and look at the prefab building options. Now, there's a lot of options in here, and essentially prefabs are buildings that you aren't going to have the materials for. You're going to be able to just assemble as soon as you get to Mars. We're not going to use the Stirling generator. I'm going to rely on solar power when we get there, and so hopefully that's not a mistake. And similarly, I'm not going to take a moisture vaporator because I'm going to search for water, and I feel confident that we're going to pick an area that has water, and we're going to bring enough drones with us that we should find a water point somewhere on the surface here before we have to touch down. This may be a very limiting choice that I'm making in that I need water to make fuel, and so I'm going to have to find water before we can send our rocket back. And we only have one additional rocket to bring to Mars before we need to fuel them and send them back to Earth. However, that's going to free us up with a little bit of capacity and allow me to bring a drone hub to Mars, which is going to let me expand faster on the surface. Heading back out to the main screen here, there's a few more things that we're going to want. We have the RC Seeker here, which is essentially the same as an RC Commander, except it acts as a sensor tower while idle. So we're going to keep that. An RC Explorer is a vital thing for us because we want to get out there and scan those anomalies as quick as possible. But looking down here, we're bringing a lot of materials with us that I just don't think we're going to need right out of the gate. We're going to keep some polymers so that we can build some batteries on the surface. We're going to keep some machine parts and some electronics just because we're not going to be able to make these on the surface right away. And so we might need a few to get a couple initial buildings going. And then we're going to come up here with that freed up space and pick up an RC transport. This is going to allow us to collect a lot of materials on the surface of the planet here early on. Looking at our weight here and being so full, I'd really like to get some more drones and orbital probes here. So I think actually we're going to ditch the RC transport. We'll rely on our drones as we get started and hope we have enough surface materials here. We'll bring an RC transport in on the next shuttle because I really want to bring a few more drones and get some more probes so that we're able to do a better job scanning the surface here. And so something a little bit more like this is going to work out. We're going to add quite a few more drones here and hope we can work around our landed rocket here until we get the second rocket brought out. And we're going to get up to a total of 6 orbital probes, which is going to help us start the game on the best possible foot. Remember, we're not bringing the moisture vaporator, and so we really have to make sure we're able to find water right out of the gate. The final step before we get to Mars is we have to select our landing spot. And so there are really 2 main things to consider when selecting your landing spot. That is the threats, the natural disasters and such that can occur to you, and the resources that you're going to have available to you in that landing area. Clicking through a lot of these sites, you can see that the threats and resources change a bit as you move around on Mars. And so for me, I think what I'm looking for is something that has a pretty high concentration of all of the resources and an acceptable level of threats here. So I've zeroed in on this Elysium Alpha, which is going to have a little bit more meteors than some of the other areas, but a lot of metals, concrete, and water available to us. So let's go ahead and start this game.
Welcome to Mars.
So here we've got our welcome screen, and really it just has a little bit of a recap here that our mission sponsor is Europe and our commander profile is Futurist. So let's jump into the map here, and the very first thing we're going to do is hit the spacebar to save. You can also control everything down here in the lower left-hand corner. I am going to leave the tips on. It's going to be a little bit annoying. The early stuff was things that were covered in the tutorial. However, I'm sure there's going to be things happening here in the game that I haven't yet discovered, and so having the tips is going to be helpful for me. The very first thing that I want to do before we get started here is select some research items to get things moving here. Research is going to unlock different options for us, and you can see here we already got a little bit of research randomly, I think because we achieved a milestone here, and so it added 250 research to something automatically, which looks like it was this low G fungi. So that's okay. I'm not sure that's what I want to prioritize, but at some point that might be useful for us. Here we've got our autonomous sensors researched automatically from our commander profile. And so I think really where I want to focus is some of these things that are going to help us get building here faster. Drone swarm looks pretty good. Drone hubs are constructed with 2 additional drones and the maximum's increased. So getting that done first would be great, because then when we place the drone hub that we brought with us, we'll get 2 additional drones. And having our drones move faster sounds like a great idea as well. And then just to pick a few more things here, having rockets require less fuel is going to be pretty good, so we'll get that one going here fairly early on. And low G high-rise apartments. Yeah, having better access to apartments, that might be nice to unlock before we bring our first settlers out here to Mars. And then lastly, I guess we'll just grab this low G fungi farm because we've already started the research on it, and we want to have something filled out in this queue just in case we get some large bonus to our research from some other milestone or other element of the game here. On the left here, we've got a number of things that pop up to kind of let us know what's going on in the game and alert us of things. We unlocked a milestone for finding water. You can see there's a bunch of different milestones that you can unlock here that are going to give you some bonus research. And so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one. We've got an introduction to terraforming here. And so we will at some point get into terraforming Mars. I think that sounds like an excellent end game here. But for now, we're going to just pass this by. We'll focus on that after we get the game going here a bit. We have found a new anomaly. And so once we land our rocket and our RC Explorers out, we can analyze that. and they want us to start scanning sectors. So we scanned this sector. So by default, you get one sector scanned in the starting area. And this is actually really cool because we start out with concrete and water, which is the key to what we need. And we've got some metals on the surface and an anomaly. So this is really awesome. We didn't actually need to scan for water like I was worried. And so we're going to go ahead and use the probes though and scan around this area and see if we can find some metals. And so you can see here when I mouse over, I have a high chance that this sector contains metal, rare metals, and concrete. So we're going to scan that sector. Looks like a bust. We're going to scan this one for concrete and metals. We're really hoping to find some metals here. This sector for concrete or metals, we found some more concrete, it looks like. Let's scan this sector. We've got another anomaly and some water. And, I mean, we've got two more of these probes. I kind of want to just scan around this area that our base is in. Hopefully we'll find some metal nearby. And if we don't, it's not the end of the world. We didn't luck out and find any. And so the next thing we can do is just start scanning the sectors manually. So I'm going to go ahead and start the scanning in this one just to kind of complete this area. And then I'm going to grab all these other areas around our starting location. I think I can scan up to 9 different sectors. So we're going to do them in this order and just hope that we find something here. I'm going to remove that one and put it back. That way we're kind of going around the outside here and getting the things closest to our starting area, because I think we are going to start right in here by the water and the concrete. So let's go ahead and grab our rocket here. And as I look around, I've got concrete over here and concrete over here in our water. This gray circle around the rocket is the dust cloud area. So when I take off and land, that's the area that we're going to create a dust cloud with. And so I'm kind of thinking I don't want to put it too close to the water because we're going to have a water extractor over there. And I want to keep my drone area, which is the blue hexagon around me, in a position where we're going to be able to optimize our drones a bit. So I'm thinking something about like this is going to work out the best and allow us to build kind of up in this area here and stay away from the rocket taking off. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play now that we've done everything that we can do here. Get our rocket landing, get all of our stuff out of the rocket here so we can get started. The very first thing that I want to do is build some storages. So I'm going to come in here and grab a metals depot because we have all this surface metal that we're going to want to get access to, and I'm going to put it down kind of right near the rocket here. We're going to store our materials kind of in this central area to start with. I'm also going to put down a universal depot, which is going to let me store pretty much anything. And these drones should do a combination of going out and gathering materials here and unloading the shuttle into these different areas. And I'm going to grab our RC Explorer here and have him start scanning this anomaly, because these anomalies should unlock additional technologies for us, I think. You can see here that the RC Seeker, is it called, is acting as a sensor tower right now. He's got his little tower out and scanning, which should help us with scanning the surrounding area. And all of his drones are out here working as well. So the very first thing that I want to get going now that we've got our drones out and about is I want to build a water extractor, because water is going to be necessary to make fuel and get our rocket going again here. And so I think I just need to put it anywhere around this water node. I'm gonna put it right on top of it, I think. Keep that dust cloud kind of away from some of the other stuff that we have. And in addition to that, which is going to require some concrete and machine parts to build, we're going to come down here and need to build a concrete extractor. And so to get the concrete extractor going, I think I'm gonna put the concrete extractor right here. That'll leave enough room to put another one up on top if we want. I'm going to prioritize building this so that we make sure we get the metals and machine parts that we need here. And then we're going to need to build some power infrastructure. And so for power, we're going to be building large solar arrays here. And I'm just kind of taking a look around where we want to build our solar farm. I think we're going to build it up here. We're going to be clearing this stuff out here eventually. And I don't want to go too far away from our water source here because we're going to need to pipe all of our power around, and I want to spend a lot of resources moving things around. So we're going to put a solar panel down here. In fact, we're going to probably put a few solar panels down. So I'm going to zoom in here and see if we can hold shift down. I think is going to let me place multiples. And so 3 should be good to get started here. I don't want to go overboard. And we're also going to place a power accumulator down here as well. This is going to allow us to store power during the off hours, since solar only functions during the daylight hours.
Anomaly analyzed. Milestone achieved.
And it looks like we have scanned our first anomaly. So let me pause the game for just a moment here. And we're going to go click on this anomaly analyzed.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
And so it looks like we've unlocked 2 additional techs that we're going to be able to research now. So if we hit the open research screen, I'm looking for adapted probes and decommission protocol. So decommission protocol looks like it's going to let me salvage buildings, and adapted probes looks like I'm going to be able to do deep scans, which is a secondary scan of a given tile on the map to look for resources that might not have been picked up the first time. For the time being, I'm going to leave both of those. I'm okay with where we're at from a research queue.
The probe's drill had hit 100 meters before it detected a spike in temperature. The data tells us it was ignited magnesium compounds.
And so we've also got this event from the analyzed anomaly, and we've picked up an effect that says reduces the cost of robotics techs by 10%. So that sounds good. We've achieved a milestone here, which gave us a boost to our research. And we have our concrete extractor is not currently working because it needs power. And so the next thing that we need to do now that we've got our power getting built here is we're going to bring a power line out in front of all of these solar panels that are being built, and then we're going to bring power all the way down here to the concrete extractor. And so our drones should start working on this here pretty quickly, as I don't think we have all the resources necessary for a few of these other things. So we also want to keep our RC Explorer moving, so we're going to go ahead and send him up to this other anomaly that we've discovered. And if I zoom out all the way here, just taking a look at our scanning progress, we're almost done scanning this other sector that's right next to us. Maybe we'll find something else useful in that sector as well. So with the concrete extractor up and soon to be powered, the next thing that we need to do is place some storages here. We need a dumping site for all of these rocks. And so we're going to grab a large dumping site and tell them that they can put all of their excess rocks down here so that we don't clutter the area immediately around this. And then we're going to come in here and create a depot specifically for concrete. And we're going to place our concrete depot. Honestly, I think we're going to put it right here for now by the concrete building just to make life easier. The drones can get there, and I think this is going to be the area where we're doing a lot of our building, so it should be pretty central. We've scanned Sector C7, and it looks like found one more anomaly here. So we're going to leave that there and go scan it after we're done with this one. And it looks like our concrete extractor is finally working here now. And so we're going to create 28 concrete per soul. And so I'm expecting that this guy's going to start putting concrete out here on his back slab. The drones are going to come over here and pick it up as needed. We've got a lot of drones picking up this metal bits and bringing them back to the various storages here. And we've got to get some concrete done. This thing needs to be a priority for us because otherwise our concrete production is going to stop during the evening hours until we get our battery up and running here. Now here we've made a mistake. I didn't hold down the control button and see where our dust cloud was going to be for the water extractor. And so this battery and these solar panels are going to be in a bad spot. And so I'm wondering if I can cancel the construction here without losing our polymers. It looks like that's true. We're going to tell this thing to build a little bit further over, at least for the power accumulator, and we'll come back and work on the solar panels here after the fact because we really need those to stay there and keep producing power. So I'm going to make this power accumulator the top priority again, so we should pick these resources up and move them over here, and hopefully we'll stop delivering concrete here and start bringing them over to the power accumulator now. Now it is nighttime, so things have shut down here, but we've made enough concrete, I think, to build this battery, so this should be our only, I'll say, night without power. We should be able to store enough moving forward, and it looks like we've analyzed the anomaly, so let's take a look here.
Of Phobos 2. The old probe even had some new data for us to analyze.
It looks like we've uncovered several new anomaly locations, so we can look for those on the map.
Found.
4 of them total now, and so we're gonna grab this guy, send him to the next closest one here. Most of these anomalies are in horrible spots for us to get to, so it'll be a bit before we get over there. But we can also see what new techs are available now.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder, so long as you know where to look.
So it looks like we've uncovered 2 new technologies, Mars crowdfunding and subsurface heating. If we take a look here, Mars crowdfunding is going to give us $1 billion as a one-time grant. That might be useful. And then subsurface heating looks like this is going to help us keep thawed out if we get hit with some of those cold waves. Cold waves are relatively low in our area, so I'm not too worried about it, but it might come in handy at some point. And you can see here the technologies in our robotics tree are only requiring 900 science now instead of 1,000, thanks to that last anomaly that we uncovered. So that's really cool. We're gonna grab the RC Seeker here, and we're gonna place him up here in between this metal area and the metal depot here, so his drones can actually be working on gathering some materials rather than sitting there inactive. If I actually think about this a little bit more, we're gonna bring him over here just a little bit so that they can also work on unloading the concrete if the opportunity arises. So this is going to be a much better suited location for him here as we get everything going. So we are now into Sol 2, which means we've expended an entire day here on the surface of Mars so far. We do have a negative draw on our energy here at the moment, but I'm expecting that's going to get resolved here as soon as the sun comes up. We are low on our advanced materials already, and so we'll have to think about that a little bit as we get going here. And I'd really like to get one of these sensor towers built. And because we have the autonomous sensors research unlocked, that means that they won't require power or maintenance. And this is gonna speed up our scanning of things. So we're gonna go ahead and grab one of these and place it down right up here near our power generation. And this should help us speed up uncovering the areas on the map here as we are starting to scan the surrounding areas. It will increase the areas immediately around us by a significant percent, and everything on the map, I think by like 10% or something like that. So now that the sun is starting to come back up, our solar panels are opening up here, and we have a positive electrical generation of 15 total. And so with the 5 the concrete extractor is taking, we have a net positive of 10. So we should be storing those 10 in the accumulator here while that's going on, and get to a point where we have filled that up, I expect, at least until we start to have more things draining power here. And so the next order of business is really to get our water extractor built here, which requires some more concrete. And so the concrete is our key at the moment. It is sitting here producing 28 per day now. And so concrete's about to not be a problem, I don't think.
Analyzed.
And we've just uncovered a new anomaly. Let's go take a look at that.
We've collected valuable geographic data at the site of the anomaly.
And so the anomaly is going to give us the option to do a few things. One is to get 200 million in funding. The other two is to get 2 drone hub prefabs, or we could get 4 moisture vaporator prefabs. I don't think we're gonna need the moisture vaporator since we have 2 different water sources near us. The 200 million in funding honestly doesn't seem like that much, so I think I'd rather take the drone hub prefabs. We'll use them at some point, I'm sure. And let's see what techs we got.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder, so long as you know where to look.
So we've got low G turbines and systematic training. So let's jump in here and see what those look like. Low G turbines, I don't think we're really going to use wind turbines here because they're so expensive to maintain, but we'll jump into the systematic training at some point, I'm sure, as increasing the performance of our specialists is going to be good. We've got a couple of those now that we're going to keep our eye on. And yeah, I'm looking here at our research. We're still cranking away here. Got a ways to go, though. And I'm taking a look here at this outsource button. It looks like we can get some additional research going here in exchange for some funding. I'm a little bit nervous about spending our funding so early in the game, but I feel like better research will open doors for us faster. So I think we're gonna do this outsource for $1 billion. We've got $4 billion up here. So we're gonna get rid of 25% of our money for essentially 5 additional techs over the next 5 days. I think it's a good trade. So there we go. We've spent a bunch of money. Was it a mistake? Time will tell. So we've got that going. It looks like we've got a fair amount of metals here. We've got 30 metals in the universal storage, 25 metals in the metal storage itself, and our drones are just going back and forth collecting additional metal. It looks like we've also got another huge patch over here.
Sector scanned.
So we're doing good. We scanned a new sector, we found some surface metals and a new anomaly. So let's grab our RC Explorer and send it over here to scan this anomaly. And while that's going, we need to keep building things. This water extractor is almost done. We need 1 more concrete here. And it looks like we've got the concrete sitting on a slab. We've got drones headed over here to pick those up and deliver them. And so the next thing that we're gonna need along this is to get our fuel refineries set up so that we can actually make fuel to get our rockets refueled and back to Earth at some point. And so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a fuel refinery here. And I think we're gonna just put the fuel refinery right here. I should be able to put another one next to it if I need to at some point. And it looks like our research for drone swarms just finished, which means I could start placing down those drone hubs that we have and get the 2 additional drones every time I do that. It looks like I've got Explorer AI, which is going to generate science for every RC Explorer vehicle. That seems like something that's going to pay off for itself over time. So we're going to go ahead and grab that, I think, and bring that up maybe a couple levels here. I think some of these other things may be a little bit more important, but I want to get this pretty early on. More research is only a good thing, I think. Our water extractor is now constructing, which is good. And our drones should start working on the fuel refinery here next for us. And so I think that the next step, because we are going to be adding some more things that take power, is to add a little bit more power generation here. Get some large solar arrays going. And at some point, I'm going to want to move the ones that were in that dust cloud. So I'm just kind of looking at how we're going to do that here. I think I'm going to plan for that right now. and place these down in such a way that I could run a power line past them if I needed to. I'm not quite ready to deconstruct these to get them out of the way. In fact, I'm not even sure I have the technologies to do that. So we're gonna do that to start. And then over here, we're going to get those pipes run from our water extractor down to our fuel refinery. This is going to let us start making fuel to refuel our rockets. And so with that kind of in process, that should allow me to start making fuel here once it gets done, once we get done connecting these and refilling the rocket, which gives me the confidence to bring another rocket out to Mars with some much needed supplies to kind of get the rest of our colony jump started here. However, I think this is going to be a great spot for us to wrap up today's episode. This is the first episode in what I hope is a full playthrough to terraforming Mars, exploring the asteroids and the subterranean features of the planet. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, drop a like, it helps the channel out a lot. And don't forget to check out some of our other series. We're also playing through Satisfactory on the channel, which has been a lot of fun. So look for another video on Satisfactory here in the next few days on the channel as well. That's all for today. Keterk out.